get started, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Hahn.
Here.
Hoag.
Here.
Blackwell.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Chipman. Here. Von Redhorst. Here.
Okay. And it doesn't look like we have anyone here for the invocation. So we'll go ahead and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. And we'll have our newly retired Chief of Police lead us. Thanks, Carl.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any commission reports?
Yes. I don't know why you ask. Just like Starling. Okay, we'll start with, Weiser Economic Development is no longer meeting, so I don't have to report on that one anyone, so yay for that one. Our public facilities,
That would be under committee reports.
yeah, you're right, so I'm going to pause on that one for the moment. I got to think of all the ones that I attend. Hang on a second. I should have brought my notes.
Airport.
Airport is here. And is that committee as well, or is that commission?
That would be a commission.
Okay, great. So airport board did meet, and I believe Jim might be presenting, although I don't see it on our agenda. But the board got together, and what the council is going to see in the next couple meeting, whichever minutes or whichever meeting that we have, they are putting together a contract or an agreement, if you will, that will go out to individuals within the airport's landing field, if you will. I mean, as a way to make sure that the new owners of the property or land property are aware that they're purchasing property within the airfield. This is out of precaution. There's several other cities around the area, smaller airports, that are having to do it. I believe our lawyer is looking over the paperwork, and so when we get that, I think if Jim has gotten that in, it's a precaution, because what we have found is that in smaller communities, people are buying land by the airport and then going and trying to sue the airport for too much noise or the smell of airplane fuel, and then those airfields are being restricted, and then it becomes a problem for the airport, and in some cases can shut it down. And so we are trying to be preemptive, because we have a great manager and a great board who's forward thinking on that, and so you will see that kind of paperwork when they're done working through it, and that'll come to us. That's the airport field. Our design review committee has a number of answers to the questions that were brought up, and I know that we're going to go over that later today. We also went through and just established our regular meetings and then the positions within it, and then of course I'm an ex officio as counsel, so I'm the secretary, the note taker. So I have the notes, and I can tell you all about them if you'd like, but I did that, and then I'll wait.
Okay, thank you. Any other commission reports? Okay.
I don't know if Sarita would be a commission or not. Before you is an invitation to a workshop that's this Thursday. I think that previously I gave you another notice of that. Anyway, if anyone would like to attend, the meeting is going to be about development of commercial businesses, what businesses are looking for when they are looking for a community to go into. I am not familiar with Jill Miles, who is formerly with the state of Oregon. I'm told she's very good. Jerry Miller from the Idaho Department of Commerce I know is good, because I've heard him several times. And if you're interested in that, or you don't think we ought to have more information on that, this would be would be a good opportunity. So if your schedule allows this Thursday at 4 o'clock, let me know and I'll make sure to get you RSVP'd.
And I did that this afternoon.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Are there any committee reports?
Yes, so, Public Service Committee, and I don't know that it's necessarily completely tied to it, but the dog park that went in recently, and it might be in the department report, that organization came and just said how excited they were and how grateful they are for the city staff, for the workers who are helping put that dog park together, and just the progress that they've made there. I know that they've started on it, and it is wonderful to see how excited people are. So I just wanted to pass that on to the council. They come to my front door and knock, and then we talk for. If I miss the meeting, I get the whole meeting on my front porch, so that's great. And then this isn't necessarily a committee, but I am also on the board for Weiser Theater, and we are looking for 2 board members. So if you know someone that would be a great fit for the world of theater, we need 2 additional board members, as some of ours are retiring out and moving on to other lives.
Mayor, the Finance Committee has also met a couple times in the last month reviewing budget numbers, and I can tell you our eyes are all blurry, and we have, I want to say, our staff that we've been meeting with has been very good about providing information for us. We want to understand, the preliminary budget that we got last month. Frankly, there were some scary numbers in it, and I think we're getting a better handle on those and why they are and how they might change. And we intend to have a recommendation for you based on our analysis for our next regular city council meeting. So we met twice. We'll meet again probably next week for sure, and see how far we get there. But there's 30 pages to our budget, so it takes a while.
And we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the meeting too. Okay, anything else? Okay, then we'll have the department reports.
Department reports for June 2025. The City of Weiser personnel, we have 51 full-time, 4 part-time, and 15 seasonal. The Weiser Police Department had 24 adult arrests, 14 misdemeanor, 10 were felony. There was 1 juvenile arrest and it was a misdemeanor. Citations, there were 34, misdemeanor 11, infraction 23. Calls for service were 475, case reports 42, felony 10, misdemeanor 15, accident 11, and incident 6. The City of Weiser Animal Control had 19 dog complaints, 8 were impounded, 7 were returned to owners, 2 were adopted out. There were 9 cat complaints, there were 7 impounded, 2 adopted out, and the feral cat TNR program did 1, and we had 1 transfer out with 3 wildlife complaints. The City of Weiser ordinance complaints, there was 10 weed, 0 junk and debris, 1 abandoned vehicle, 3 parking, no campers, 5 VIN inspection, 1 hazard, and 2 storage containers. The wastewater department for June flow of 2024 was $34,080,000. June flow for 2025 was $36,100,000. The June daily average was $1,200,000. The wastewater department jetted and cleaned 3,000 feet of line on the east side of town. They cleaned 10 storm basins on the east side of town and sprayed weeds at the lift station and the plants. The water department water production for June of 2024 was $33,052,000. Water production for June of 2025 was $36,567,000. The water department rebuilt a 2-inch service valve on East Indian Head. They painted 78 fire hydrants in the middle of town. They activated new water system at Sundance Point. They sprayed weeds at the plant, and they turned off the water for non-compliant irrigation backflows. The electric department's power consumption for May of 2024 was 3,991,878 kilowatts. May of 2025 was 4,108,889 kilowatts. The electric department continues to build the new truck shed at the pole yard, installed a light pole on the corner of 3rd and Idaho where a truck hit the pole and failed to stop. They installed a power board for Fiddle Week, and Nick Edward attended an ICUA inspection on the city of Rupert. The street department set up and tore down for Fiddle Festival. They watered Gailey Street for Fiddletown. They had Community Pond Cleanup Day. They painted all skip and solid traffic lines, actively worked to paint crosswalks with the new design, mowed all city properties, removed fencing at soccer complex to allow concrete pad prep and install for dog park. The recreation department, youth baseball and softball have finished with a great season. The Weiser Dolphins hosted 2 swim meets. Co-ed softball registration is done. It looks like we have 4 to 5 teams, and they are currently taking registration for tackle football and fall soccer. The building department issued 8 building permits this month, 4 single-family dwellings, 2 accessory building, 2 dwelling alterations and additions. Dave did 20 inspections and 6 consults. Mayor and City Council, that concludes your department reports for June of 2025.
Look at the minutes for the last meeting. Would there be a motion to accept the minutes?
I would move that we approve the minutes.
Okay. It's been moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, and has the Finance Committee had a chance to look at the bills?
Yes, we have, sir, Mr. Mayor, and we found them to be in order. We made the recommendation to accept the bills as presented.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Von Redhorst,
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Chipman,
Yes.
Blackwell,
Yes.
Hopkins,
Yes.
and Hahn.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And there is no old business, so we will move on to new business. And first thing I'd like to do is recommend appointing Lieutenant Cron as the new chief as of August 1st. I actually went out and asked for applications, and there wasn't anybody who came close to what we already have in-house with Lieutenant Cron, and so it gives me a lot of pleasure to nominate him as the new chief of police as of August 1st. The reason why August 1st is that our current chief, Carl Smith, is, even though Friday was his last day, he's on vacation until the end of the month. And so, and we'll have a badge ceremony at our next city council meeting. Okay. Would there be a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that Lieutenant Crom be appointed to be the new police chief of Weiser, Idaho.
I'll second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, chief. Okay, next up, Mr. Kirby, the school superintendent, would like to come and talk to us about storage containers. Would you mind coming forward and giving your name, address? And
Well, good evening, Weiser City Council and Mayor Hibbert. My name is Dave Kirby, and I am currently the school district superintendent here for Weiser Schools.
could you give us your address, please?
Pardon me?
Could you give us your address, please?
My
Your living address?
My address is 2175 North Amethyst, Meridian, Idaho.
Okay, thank you.
Although I've spent 35 years living in this town, I'm not currently living there.
Sure.
But, yes, and I live up on the hill all the days that I worked here. My sister lives up on the hill, and so I stay with her, so right next to the chief.
How you doing, neighbor?
How you doing, neighbor? I see him every day. And so I live in town, actually, I guess, 3 or 4 nights a week. So I'm starting this role as Weiser School Superintendent, and we received a letter from the city talking about the storage containers, and we were out of compliance with the city ordinance, or 2 city ordinances. And I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I'm not here to fight with anybody. It's essential that Weiser School District and the City Council have a good relationship. And fortunately, I've met Mr. Cron before, and of course, Mr. Smith, and we worked with them to write a school SRO grant that we just received a little while ago, so over $330,000 over the next 3 years to hire another police officer, but SRO, but it'll help offset those costs. And so we're already working together on a number of things. Have some other joint projects going on down here with the city with the sidewalk project from Park School down to the soccer field, those types of things. City came up and helped us with our parking around the fence up by the old institute, brought in some of the old chips from asphalts, and clearly we work together. And I'm not here to fight anybody. I'm here as a representative of the Weiser School District to let you know that the storage units that we currently have are very, very useful for us. We have, and I noticed, or I put in part of your city code in my letter. Planning Commission may, after notice and public hearing, permit the following uses where such uses are deemed essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. And I believe that these are essential and desirable for the convenience of the welfare, because we have our city, for example, we have our wrestling mats just right outside the gym in a storage container. They're lockable, they're airtight, or they're watertight, they're mouse-proof. Kids can go in there, and 10 or 12 kids just walk in there and pull the wrestling mats out and put them on the gym floor, and away we go with the wrestling matches. So we have that big wrestling tournament here every year. We do wrestling invitational. It's really handy for those purposes. Our drama group, you guys have probably been to some of the through the years, the musicals that the high school has put on, and all those drama outfits that Julie Chandler through the years has made and put together, and they're in a big giant storage shed container just right outside, so they can go out there and get them, and they got their costumes, and they bring them in, and they're kept nicely because there's no mice in them. They're locked, and they're right there and they're handy. We also have a portable our portable stage for graduation that we disassemble and put in one of those storages just outside the door of them. So they're very, very useful, and I would argue or suggest that they're essential and desirable to the public convenience and welfare. If we have to get rid of them, or if we would have to buy other storage or build other storage, it would cost us a fair amount of money. Each cost us in the neighborhood, I think, of $4,000. If we had to build something, probably would cost a little bit more. And that would be a taxpayer expense, because we're clearly off taxes, and so I would hate to see us have to add costs for that purpose when these are working really well. Now, I don't pretend to understand all the reasons for these ordinances, but they're clearly in place, and we appreciate it. You're trying to keep the city beautiful and keep it in good shape, so people want to live here. So we would also consider, moving them anywhere on the north side of our building. 2 of them are over there right now. I would be hard pressed for anybody to actually see them. 2 of them. One of them could be moved a little bit so that it would be more out of public view. We would clearly work with you on that if that would allow a potential exemption for the school district. So that would be my request and the rationale for it. And again, we appreciate you. If you say we have to move them, we're going to move them. But we would really like to not, for the reasons that I shared.
Thank you for that information. We would have to take this under advisement, we will not be taking action on this tonight, even though we have it down as an action item. We will not be taking action on this tonight.
Okay. Can we ask him questions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for better legal clarification on the code.
Okay. Mr. Kirby, I was just wondering, how long have those storage units been in place?
From what I understand, they've, in the last 2 years. So we don't have any that were in there prior to 2018, I think is when I heard this was put in place, so.
Okay, so they're post.
Yeah. I had to go and search for them when I got this letter. I didn't know where they were even. But I did find 4 of them, and so I want to be transparent. That's what we've got. And we can give you the serial numbers off of them, or whatever you'd like.
So is it your testimony that there isn't available storage right now that could replace those containers? It would have to be, you'd have to either construct or do something like that to replace them.
Well, you know, I think for years, I think when you and I were in high school together, not too long ago, you know, the wrestling mats were just rolled up and stuck in the corner of either the lunchroom or out by the girls' bathroom, and they were just kind of in that. So yes, it can be done. It's an inconvenience. It just probably is a fire. Probably breaks the fire code to have that much of your hallway taken up with story wrestling mats. If we had to move them clear out of the city, I mean, we own, you know, Sunset School, but to go over there and load up the wrestling mats and bring them over here, now you gotta, it's just not as convenient, clearly. It could be done, yes. And will it be done if you don't make some amendment, or yes, we'll figure it out. It would be clearly an inconvenience, and we request that we be able to keep them.
So you'd be moving wrestling matches across town versus across the hall?
Yes, well, and right now it's just outside the building, but in those
Right.
storage containers, yes.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item is to approve and authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with AFC for use of water. And I believe this is what Jim is probably here for.
We missed 3. Consider pawnbroker's license application for
Oh,
Hammer Down
I'm sorry.
Arsenal and Pawn.
I'm sorry. I think number 3 is what I just said.
You said
Oh,
approve and
I-
authorize the mayor to sign.
I must be looking at the original.
You have- This is the revised one.
Okay, here, just a second.
Sorry, I just-
Okay, yeah, I was looking at the first one. Consider pawnbroker's license application for Hammer Down Arsenal and Pawn.
Sorry, Mayor.
No problem, thank you. So, Chief, would you like to come forward and inform us?
And then just real quick, before Kron, so they already have a gun store here in town.
Right.
What they're asking is just to be able to pawn them. So
Right.
they're already up and running. This is not new.
The pawn part of it is new.
Yeah,
Okay.
these, yeah.
Mayor, City Council, Lieutenant Cron, Acting Chief, 262 East Court Street. We're fairly familiar with Hammer Down Arsenal. They had a little bit of clerical issues when they first started business here, but they've cleaned that up and they seem to be doing well. So we would not have an issue with that.
Any questions?
Do you know how long they've been in business? Approximately?
I think a little over 5 years.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Looks to me like I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and approve Hammer Down's application for the pond part of their business.
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passed. Then the next is what I said earlier
AFC use of water.
about the AFC use of water. And Jim, would you like to come and talk to us on that?
Sure. My name is Jim Mester. I'm the current manager of the Weiser Airport. Thank you. And I reside in Payette. This is an agreement that, just briefly, it had come to our attention some time ago that both the previous and the current fire chief had felt that we had an inadequate water supply to fight a fire at the airport. We looked at several options. None of them seemed to be financially or physically possible or reasonable. So I was able to talk with the owner of AFC Corporation and create the agreement that you have before you. I assume you all have this before you read the paperwork. It's a very simple agreement that just allows us access to a pressure water hydrant that already exists 1.0 miles from our airport gate. That will make about an 800% difference in the time it takes for the fire tenders to refill. In the past, they've had to go all the way into town and either locate a hydrant and fill from that, or go into the city fill deal by the city hall. This will cut that by about, it'll only be about 20% of the amount of time to do that. So it's a simple agreement. The only thing it does is gives us access to it. It says that if we use the water, it costs us nothing. The system is already in place. Carl didn't want any additional income from it. He just said if we use the water, that we will buy the water from him at the same rate that we're currently selling water to commercial users through our own system. So if we don't ever use the water, it will cost us nothing. And if we do, I personally be glad to pay it. If it's my hangar that's on fire, I'll be happy to pay it. The only thing we did is we did ask that we did indemnify AFC Corporation for any incidents that might occur from access to or the use of the water. Other than that, it's a very simple agreement.
Any questions?
So, just one, you said that your agreement was to pay the same price for water as what we're charging.
Correct.
So this agreement says that it's $6.30 per 1,000 gallons. What if our rate goes up?
That rate will go up with it. The contract is written that it will be the current value of the water that we are selling to commercial operators. So whatever that current amount is, if we raise it, it will go up with it according to the agreement.
Okay, I read that now. Thank you. Okay, so that's just making note of what the current rate is.
I'm sorry?
It's just making note of what the current rate is.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So if we have a fire, we need to hurry up and lower the commercial rates until the fire at the airport's over.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Jim, for thinking outside the box so that we can have additional security for the airport. I think that's great, so we appreciate it.
Okay.
It's something that we can do now. In the future, as our community grows and as the airport grows, there may be something else we have to do. But for now, I didn't put this together to necessarily try to comply with the fire marshal's request or the fire chief's request. This is simply a common sense. I'm a stakeholder at the airport. I probably own more assets at the airport than anyone except the city itself. And so, this is just a way that appears to me that makes a lot of sense to give us that edge that we need if a real fire occurs.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with AFC for the use of water.
Okay, it's been moved.
Second?
And moved and seconded. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Vaughn,
Yes.
Hope,
Yes.
Blackwell,
Yes.
Hopkins,
Yes.
Chipman,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, motion passed. Okay. Next on the agenda is the fiscal year 2026 annual budget.
So basically, I put that on there to see if anybody had questions for the big thing. We've been reviewing this with the committee. I can say that we reduced the deficit some from the last time we were here through, there was, when we get the L2, we do the taxes on there, that changed it to about $113,000 in more tax revenue than we projected. The other thing we added in was the $68,802 foregone to purchase a police car. If that money is in there, we have to use it to purchase the police car. Other than that, I had to move some tax money, about $10,000 from the street funds tax revenue to the rec department's revenue to budget, to balance that budget. There was an oversight in the budget that I gave you on tax money that, or grant money coming in versus expenditures. I was off $10,000. Larry found that, and that's how we balanced that. It did add a $5,000 deficit to the street department, which I'm not too concerned of. I worked through that with Ron. Just kind of go over some of that. And then we usually on an annual, this is the first time we've had the finance committee meeting, so they're very up to date on everything. I didn't know if anybody else had questions. Be more than happy to answer, even see me anytime during the week or whatever works for you guys.
So we're still looking at granting all the requests, that as many of the requests as we can.
I have
The
left-
departments are having, right? We're
I
keeping
have
those
left
in there.
everything in there that we talked about the first time, even the, like Sarita money and the Rose Advocates money, all that stuff's in there.
Main Street's still in there.
Main Street's still in there. Everything is still in there. There's been no cuts from it. The only cut money was, like I said, the tax money that was coming in, like I said, was, I have more of a absolute amount right now that we were waiting on last time, and then I added a foregone for the $68,000 to cover the police car, which dropped the general fund. The only one that really changed besides the street funds, $5,000, was the general fund's deficit now says $732,562. And we will go over that all next month when we set the tentative. Next month is we have to vote on the tentative to go to public hearing at the end of August.
It's always tough to accept that kind of
It is
numbers. Like,
it
it's
is.
hard to look at, but then I also have to tell myself, no, we have
Like-
money in the savings.
Well, and the other
Have
thing
to
we
spend
was
down.
talking about, we budget incomes on the lower side and expenditures on the higher side,
Yeah.
and I don't. We in the past have not used the fund balance that we budgeted, even when it's been 400, 500, 600,000. I don't think this year's 599, I believe, and if trends go the way, unless something extreme happens, we probably won't even want a fund balance on that.
Awesome.
So-
So thank you for your guys' work. Thank you to
Hey.
the financial committee too. That's great.
I won't say we won't, but we do budget that, so it looks as bad as it can on the deficit side.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
We don't really have an action item, it's just on there in case something you want changed.
Everyone did receive the actual versus budget numbers.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Finally got those out. Okay. We'll move on to the next item, and that's design review clarifications.
Okay, so we passed an ordinance to pass the design review, and in the action, or in the motion, it was requested that we have some clarification on a few questions that were asked by the council members. So I took them back to the design review went over them, and these are their clarifications. So, number one, will ordinance bring additional cost to businesses who might be considering Weiser and push them to surrounding communities? While there would be no additional cost, they would be minor and not discourage potential businesses seeking to locate in Weiser. Similar concerns have been presented at Planning and Zoning Council meetings for years as justification for the absence of even basic standards. The evidence does not support this conclusion. Through the years, Department of Commerce, and other community development professionals have explained most businesses prefer communities who adopt standards and that protect return on investments. Recent design review committee negotiations with Maverick, Walgreens, and even O'Reilly's confirm that most businesses expect design review standards as part of the permitting process. Design is more about better choices than additional requirements. Number 2, what was the process used to come up with this ordinance? In June of 2023, we began reviewing design ordinances from other communities both in and out of state, focusing on small rural cities and similar cultural values. These included Plainfield, California, Coeur d'Alene, Garden City, Emmett, Star, and Nampa, Idaho. We eventually settled on Nampa's, which we edited in March of 2024, submitted to the mayor for legal review. After waiting for nearly a year with no response, early in 2025, we inquired with the clerk and were advised our draft proposal could not be found. In March of 2025, we received a draft ordinance from the city attorney, which ironically enough was also based on Nampa's with only minimal changes from our original draft. We immediately reviewed and returned with minor edits.
Did you hear that bus that just ran over me?
I did not write these.
Neither did I. I also didn't write these.
Number 3, does the ordinance create economic advantages, disadvantages, or is it neutral? It probably does both. In general, customers gravitate towards businesses which offer a welcoming and attractive appearance over those which don't. It levels the playing field for all businesses by establishing a common minimal design standard. Number 4, why can't design review be handled by our current staff? Staff will handle most design review applications only when they are larger, more than 2,000 square feet or more. Complex project will the diverse expertise of our design review committee become involved. Number 5, why is there a city council member on the committee? This was conceived by the mayor when the original committee was established. The city attorney reviewed and recommended the inclusion of an ex officio, how do we say that, member of the city council to act as secretary for the committee. Number 6, what does the term projects mean on page 3, 1-6-4, powers, duties, and responsibilities? And any questions on that, please refer to chapter 10, chapter 20-2, A 1-4, and there should be
It clarifies all.
clarifies on that. Number 7, clarify the language on page 6, 10-20-5B, staff report, and 10-20-5C. The committee shall be empowered to interpret design standards and make exceptions to standards. This will likely be a modified version of the building permit or zoning application. An example used by Nampa is attached. It was not attached. I can get it to anybody who wants it. Clarify the language in section 10-20-9 regarding design requirements about recreation areas. Weiser City Code presently has no requirements for recreational areas in a multifamily development. While many developers automatically include on-site recreation space, this addition to our code provides a baseline requirement which can be achieved in a variety of ways. This enhancement to our multifamily development reflects and embodies community value received during public input on the comprehensive plan.
Does that answer questions?
I think it gives me a couple more. Because when number 4, staff will handle most of the design review applications. When we talked about the ordinance in our meeting, I asked why we needed the committee and why couldn't the design review be handled just like electricity and structure and everything else. The answer was because the staff didn't have time to also do design review.
And also that the expertise of each of those people on the design review committee, you had the historical, you had the botany, you had the aesthetics, and so on. So you had different expertise there than what we have in the city. We don't have the historical expertise, we don't have the aesthetic expertise, we don't have the horticultural expertise, and that sort of thing in the city to do that. So we're just like we try and get as many different viewpoints here, you know, we use those experts to get as many different viewpoints for that design review, since it is design.
So couldn't you say the same thing about the building structure, that, or the plumbing, or?
No, because those things are fairly cut and dried, you know.
There's very set codes for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no ambiguity in most of them. I think that's what we're,
Yeah.
and blue to you is not blue to me.
Okay, because, I mean, it was a 20-page document. I mean, that's fairly concise as well.
It covered a lot.
And the other question I have is, were I to read number 6, Title 10, Chapter 20-2, A1 through 4, what would it say a project is?
I don't know, these aren't my answers, this is just from the design review.
But you can look it up.
I'll pull it up and I'll find it for you. I don't have it memorized, sorry.
And last but not least, the 2,000 square foot project. I don't think at least to my understanding here, that has been clarified. 2,000 square foot of what there? 2,000 square foot building, 2,000 square foot
So
land?
this only applies to commercial businesses wanting to go in. And so if you just had a little mom and pop that was gonna be with a conditional use in a residential area, I don't think the design review would come into play, because it's, I mean, you're gonna have just residential yard and residential this and that.
Right.
It would be more for the larger, like O'Reilly's and Walgreens and Mac.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't see that in the definition.
I think if we were to look in the definition of project in our code, I believe it's square footage of the building.
Yes.
Okay, and so if I'm just remodeling the building that I have, then this wouldn't pertain regardless of the size, is that correct?
I'd have to go back and look at the ordinance that we passed.
If you're remodeling what?
If I have a 2,500 square foot commercial building and I'm remodeling it, then does it require a building permit? Would,
Could if it alters it structurally. No, it doesn't have a building permit if it don't. If it's not more than,
60%.
we'd have to get with Dave to
50%.
verify that.
Yes, I can read that section to you if you'd like.
Thank you.
Applicability. So this is 10-20-2, Part A. Design reviews required in Weiser City Code, Title 10, Chapter 8, residential two-family dwellings, auditoriums, stadiums, arenas. Chapter 9, residential two-family dwellings, duplexes and townhomes, auditoriums, stadiums, and arenas. Chapter 10, commercial. Chapter 13, planned unit development. Chapter 15, development agreements. And Chapter 17, industrial, for the following project types. So only in those areas, and if they meet the following, is it applicable to the design review. New commercial and industrial structures, residential developments of 2 or more units on a single parcel, non-single family buildings that are expanded, which the expansion is greater than 25% of the square footage of the existing structure. Design standards shall only be applicable to the area of new construction or expansion. Replacing exterior materials or elements on more than 50% of a non-single family building facade, which facade fronts a public right-of-way. So your question was your building, and I don't know if building is yours, sorry.
yeah. So if I have a duplex,
So two-family dwelling.
okay, so that fits. If I decide to repaint one of them, and it's not over 50% of the building, I can do that, and then I can decide next year to paint the other half, and doesn't have to comply.
It doesn't have to go through the design
It
review
doesn't have
committee.
to, yeah, it doesn't have to go through the design
Right.
review committee.
Right.
If I paint the whole thing at the same time, then it does.
According to this applicability, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I
Yeah.
understand what
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about here.
And then what was the other one that you wanted clarification on? Powers, I think that's what it is. Let me look at powers real quick. 1, 210, 2. Okay, so I think your question was about powers and duties. So the committee shall review projects forwarded by staff, requested by the applicant, greater than 2,000 square feet or complicated in nature. The committee shall review projects for compliance with design review standards within City Code 10, Chapter 8, regarding all those things I listed, 2-family dwellings of a duplex or townhome, auditorium, stadium, arenas, those same things. And then at the end of the list, it says design review of this code and various buildings and site design conditions that may be included in a specific non-residential projects development agreement. So really, we're trying to tie ourselves to the development agreements. The design review committee shall review projects and either approve with conditions, or deny such application. The planning and zoning administrator or design designated representative shall then notify the applicant in writing of the decision. Staff decisions may be appealed to the design review committee, and conversely, design review committee's decisions may be appealed to the planning commission for review and decision. The powers, duties, and responsibilities of the design review committee shall comply with the state of Idaho local planning code of 1975.
Okay, so back to my duplex.
Uh-huh.
If there's 2 900 square foot units, I can still paint the whole thing, and it doesn't
Correct. Yeah.
go to the design.
It doesn't go to our design review committee. Yeah.
Right.
You're really
Okay.
worried about your duplexes. I'm so sorry.
Well, I just want to make sure I'm getting this. Yeah, yes, yeah, my duplex. So my house, I'm good. Okay, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, let's move on. And Mike, would you bring us up to date on?
I just wanted to touch base on a few of the projects that we have going in town. I know that you may have been asked about, or what's happening, or if you have questions. Some of the easy ones, the West 9th water main extension, where we're going under the railroad tracks on West 9th. We've filed the notice to proceed. They've accepted. They are planning on doing it towards the end of September and October. We don't have an exact start date. They have 1 year from the date to do it, so before next May. It's just that I give you a date. It is gonna happen, it's just we're waiting on the contractor to set a date. Like I said, they accepted it, the notice of proceeding's been filed, all the paperwork's done, they just have to give us a date to start. The asphalt pathway completion around the pond is scheduled for the first week of September to be done. We were waiting for it to dry up so we could do the groundwork to put it down. We don't want anybody to end up in the pond, so that's equipment, it's not good. The Memorial Park Blue Cross grant is all but done. We've expended most of the money on the covered areas and sidewalks and barbecues and bike racks. If you haven't noticed, please go look at that. It's all coming together quite amazingly. I think I'll know a little more tomorrow after we do the bills. We had about $1,800 left as of the other day, so I'll get a, yeah.
You know,
Put a bench.
we used it for the 4th of July, and we thought we were going to be using it for shade, and we ended up using it for rain.
For cover, yeah.
It worked out very well.
It worked out very well. We had a lot of people, and turned out to be a very nice event. And I think people enjoyed themselves.
Right. So it's actually getting used quite a bit. You know, it's done very well. We've had a lot of good positive comments on the new covered areas. And the technical one, that goes around the parent trap at the playground. It turned out amazing. Everybody thanked Dave Luce for the design and the street crew for construction. That was a very tedious job, so that part is done. Like I said, there's been quite a bit to it. We're right at the end of it. There may be a little bit left to do, maybe another bench or tables or something like that. I won't know that for a day or so, but we're right there at the finish line.
Did we get that pathway from the bathrooms to the grandstand?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the only one that I haven't
That's-
seen yet.
Yep, that's there. All
It's
this
there.
cement
Okay.
work has been done.
Perfect.
Even the one at the top of the hill, that's a different grant, but is being installed, it should have been finished today, I believe, or
I
it's
went
pouring
by-
in the morning.
I went by there.
The ADA
after
ramp
work,
was all
and it
that
was done.
Beautiful.
We'll probably get the patch back of the asphalt done August to mid-September. I don't have an exact date on that because we have, asphalt work going to start next month, the potholes, and that'll all be part of that, so I don't want to give an exact date for it.
Now, will that be done before football starts?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For October, yeah. Yeah. When's football start? The end of August? First September? Yeah, we'll get the patch back done first, so.
Started last week.
Let's not talk about that. It's getting here quick. But yes, we'll make sure and get that all cleared up and cleaned up before then. I just, like I said, I don't want to get a date yet. I think the Indian Head Pathway is well underway. I don't know if you've been through there. They're at Howard and Second and working up on State. You can see them doing a lot of work and traffic control up there. They've excavated the seminary building hill. We're waiting for some changes on how that wall was going to work. There was kind of a hiccup on weight bearing on the design, so they're working through that as we speak. But I expect that to be done, I'm hoping by our next meeting. Now, that I say that, some will kick us and slow it down, but by mid-August, we expect that to be done. I guess the big one on here is Commercial Street. I know you guys have all seen it. It's been nothing short of an adventure. There was a lot more soft spots and elevation issues than we had thought in the beginning. I do expect to see some overage on that I'll be back next month to talk to you about. I don't think it'll be huge, but I do expect it to be between $20,000 and $40,000 in differences where the soft spots were a lot more. So they had to over excavate, refill with pit run, paper, geotext in places and everything because the road underneath was not as good as we'd hoped. It was worse than we thought. So there may be there. I have found some budget resources to make that work that I'll come back with when I have a better number. Hopefully we get it all negotiated out and we walk away with the exact amount of the grant and we're good to go. In a perfect world, that would happen. Unfortunately, that's how things.
When will it be open, Mike?
So substantial completion is still set for July 27th. I have not had any notice that they won't make that. There was some slowdown in the sidewalks between State to First due to elevation issues. And the way they matched the buildings was didn't go as planned. I'll just say that. We're discussing that. We actually have a meeting to discuss that tomorrow on how that'll go. That's the last bit of it. You notice the asphalt's down. So the substantial completion is July 27th. I hope to see it open the first week of August after we get striping and signs and the little stuff caught back up. It's still not legal to drive through it, so please remind people they keep driving through there. Other than that, for the businesses, we're doing our best to get it open as fast as possible. Other than that, it's looking really nice. I mean, everything kind of came together right there. The corners, everything looks good. You can drive up to each one and see a lot of the project from the side streets. So, other than that, I know we have a few other little projects going. Those were the big hitters off the top of my head. Does anybody have any questions on projects going on? Hey, we don't get there much, and since we have so much going on right now, I thought to inform you guys.
No, appreciate it.
We have a lot going on right now.
It's amazingly busy, but everything is actually going very well. It could always, I think everything's been going pretty well.
Yeah.
Before I forget, kudos to the firework display, by the way.
Oh, yes, Bill's
Awesome
project
job.
was
Thank you.
amazing. It
Always,
takes a
every
village.
year. It's
But yeah.
fantastic, and even in the rain.
I didn't mean to
So,
shortfall
well done.
that project, but it was
No,
great. He did
yeah,
an amazing
I want to make
job.
sure that I said thank you.
Still got all his fingers and toes.
Only three.
Like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a chance. We do have questions. I know the public probably ask you a lot of questions. As far as commercial, that's the big one with a lot of questions. There's not a whole lot of answers until we get through the redesign of those elevations on state first, and we're working through that tomorrow and hope to see that poured by the end of the week or mid next week, depending on how things go tomorrow.
What needs to be done for the dog park still?
The cement is poured, the poles are in today, so as far as that goes.
We need to do the water tap, run the water line.
Okay.
We ordered the fill stations for around town. They should be here. We'll need to install that. And then the fencing and a bench and a fire hydrant and.
It's coming along quite quickly. I think
Yeah.
he'll have the water in the week.
Okay.
The water department will have the tap installed by the end of the week, unless something else comes up, but right now it's looking like that's possible.
Awesome. Well, thank everyone. Yeah, great work.
So I had been emailing you guys projects that were happening, and then over the winter, there was literally nothing to write. I was like, So if you guys would like me to start doing that again after Monday morning meetings, I'm more than happy to do that. So if you guys would like an email after the Monday morning meetings of what's going on for the week.
I loved them.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
then I felt I knew how to answer the questions
Okay.
when I was
Nope.
out on the street
Yep.
going, huh?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can start that again.
If there's nothing to write, there's nothing to write.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, the
Yeah,
street
it's very
department is
helpful.
shoveling snow.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so after the Monday morning meeting, I will shoot you guys an email.
And don't ever hesitate to call and ask. If you have questions, just let me know.
Well, the good thing about the email with the update was, by the time you need to know something, it's because somebody asked you, and you've already
Right.
said, I don't know.
Okay,
Some projects are fluid. You don't like to give end dates because you don't know what you're going to find until you open them up either. I mean,
But, I mean, even if we can say, yeah, they're working on it, no, it's not done, and
it will be completed on time.
we're working on it.
Till the day before when we tell you it's not.
Okay. Any other questions for Mike? Okay, then we need to go into a very short executive session. If someone would like to.
I motion that we move into executive session as per Idaho Code 74-206 1BEF to discuss
Legal counsel.
legal counsel.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We'll have a roll call.
Councilmember Hoag,
Yes.
Von Redhorst. Yes. Hopkins,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Blackwell,
Yes.
and Chipman.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Congratulations, Chief.